Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another, Cardano cross-chain video. Today, I'm sitting down with the Cornucopias team. They've been on the channel multiple times at this point. So looking forward to catching up with Rob and Josh here to find out what is the latest on Cornucopias, what's been happening. There is a big unique mint coming up for the team, cross-chain mint with some unique aspects. We'll get into that too, as well as finding out what they've been up to and what's coming for the next few months with lots of questions around land and nodes and everything like that. But guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you as well. I think we've definitely done quite a few with you over almost 3.5 years at this point.
Yeah, it's been good to see the progression of the project as well, from the very first video we done to where you are now. And there's always new things every time we sit down. So you guys in your own Kopi Cafe do a nice intro to what it is. Who wants to give the intro just in case there's anybody hasn't heard, or maybe it's changed a little bit over time? Who wants to give that high level intro?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm stuck with that. Rob and I have a pattern, and he likes me to start first and then go from there. So that'll work. The funny thing is we're kind of really working on that intro, as well as like really getting the communication down to who is our target market and what do they want to hear, but about like what are the benefits that we need to portray to them about the game and the lore. But yeah, Cornucopias is a unique and vast, massive world where humanity has ascended the earth to go into these giant domes in the sky that were created. There's a story around how those were created and why humanity left, and that's a big part of the lore. But each of these domes has a different curated gaming experience. And currently we have we're in pre-alpha right now. We have 4 domes that are live and available for people to explore. And to give you an idea of size, these are about 8 kilometers in diameter. So they're spheres and they're enormous. It could take hours and hours and hours to explore each one. And we have now our world travel loop. Yeah, that's a great image to give perspective to the eventual size when we have all 12 themed zones in production. But currently, yeah, we have 4 domes, and we'll probably get another 3 to 6 open next year, something like that. Maybe 3 more this year. But yeah, and each of them has a different curated gaming experience where you can do crafting, combat, racing, adventure, farming, fishing. This is kind of, and then you could travel around within the world and back to Earth eventually as well. So there's some very fun stuff coming out in our lore soon, and we're working on a game trailer as well to list on the Epic Store.
Nice. And the Epic Store, I haven't heard much talk on that yet. Is there dates or what's that looking like?
No dates, but we know that the trailer is going to take us about 8 weeks in production. And knowing what we're building, I want to go ahead and say that that's going to be like 10 weeks in production, because the team is really pumping out a ton of new content now. I appreciate what you said about the progression of Cornucopias over time. We've definitely really been delivering, but I do want to indicate something else as well that's been a strength, that we've really massively improved on our efficiency of delivery. We've been optimizing our workflows within Unreal Engine. We've been becoming more and more efficient. We're getting faster and faster at everything that we do. And now that a lot of the groundwork is laid, you see just tons of new content coming out. And we'll talk about that when we get into what we're up to these days. But yeah, it's been really cool to have that kind of progression happening. So now it's like so much new content comes out with each new build, and that's really needed. We're at a stage where that foundation has been laid, and a lot of the content comes out more and more quickly. So you'll start to see more growth with us in each game release now, which is fun.
Yeah, I've seen lots of content of the new world. You mentioned the different domes that are there now with Solace, and some of the graphics in it look really really good. It's probably about time I done an updated video on the channel here, separate to this, walking through it as well. Maybe a stream. I'll see how the system can handle that at some point. Walking through it just to have a look around. There's going
Yeah,
to be jetpacks and stuff like that that's coming. That's going to enhance
yeah,
that experience. But we'll get to that in a minute. A few more bits on some of the latest that you've been up to. I don't know if Rob or you want
yeah.
to take this
Rob,
again,
go
Josh?
for it.
Yeah, I mean that release that we did in September, like Josh was saying, you know, that's our biggest to date. These three massive worlds. So we released Solace, which is the first of 12 of these theme zones, and Solace itself has three giant 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers, like we said. Now all those worlds, they're all hand built. We've got a team now of just over 50 people. And every single thing has been placed by hand. Our team has studied geography, and when you go into each of the different solaces, you can really see a difference. So it's not like copy and paste. So what you can do at the moment is you can use the new world travel system, what we've just introduced. You can jump on a ship, public transport, that will take you over to the sector hub, which is another kind of mini world in the middle of the three. And in the future, that's actually going to be where players start. So in the ceiling of that little hub, there's a whole apartment blocks that we're building out. So players will start from there. They'll be able to start the way off in kind of like a basement apartment. They'll be able to craft items, place it in there, and then work their way up to the penthouse. From there, you'll be able to go into the different solaces and do kind of like all the MMO features, like Josh was saying. But what you can do at the moment is you can grab one of our scanning devices and you can roam around all these three entire worlds looking for where our land plots have been placed. So later in the year, we're going to have a huge land plot event. So these are the NFTs that players bought a few years ago. This is now finally going to come online. Players will be able to go around, choose their favorites within the Unreal Engine, but the actual land plot, the land grab event itself is going to happen on our website. So we're going to take all these huge satellite images where players again will be able to go around the whole world, kind of in a website, more of a flat 2D, potentially with 3D images experience in there. Do your favorites, and then during the land grab event, they'll be able to actually allocate which one of those land plots they want for their NFT. And if more than one person does that, then we'll have a way of that being chosen by the mythics going first and the legendaries. And we'll explain the rules of all that because it can get a bit complex in the future when we get closer. But that's going to be a huge, exciting event for players to actually get that land plot, that utility. But that's coming in the future. But at the moment, you can go around and run around these places. Like you say, you can get around a little bit quicker in the next build with jetpacks, which we can go to in the future. But we've also been busy really beefing up the client server side of it. So we've got database integrations now. So that's allowed us to save our character creator, which again is really unique to us, and you can almost create any kind of look and feel for your character. That now saves in the database. That's enabled us also to have leaderboards. So we've been running a number of kind of pre-tournaments where players can win Copy and NFTs, either racing vehicles or doing the holocash speed runs. You can do screenshots in game now. And I think another important thing, we're trying to open the game up to as many players and grow the player base as possible. So we opened up testing to all PCs now. There's still a minimum spec requirement, so you will need a graphics card with 6 gigabytes of RAM, but and you will also need an NFT to get in, but we're opening that up, and that's also part of our cross-chain strategy, which again we can talk about in the future to to expand our player base and let as many people as possible to get in our game.
Nice. So lots of different things to unpack there. The first one, I know it'll be one of the first comments if I don't ask it, but the land claim we talked about there, you said later in the year. Is there any more on that yet, or when will we get
There's
more?
not much left of the year,
Yeah.
so it's going to be very, very soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. We're working, like I say, we're working on the maps at the moment, the website where it's all happening. So we're actually testing that now. So that will be released. It's going to be weeks, not really months, because there's not that many months left in the year. So in a few weeks from now, we will start probably, well, we're definitely doing internal testing. We will beef that up as we get all the features in. We will then release that as soon as possible, so that the community can have a look at those and start putting some favorites down. Then we may have a trial where we will do like I say, maybe a trial land grab. We're gonna explore those in the future, but by the end of the year, there definitely people are going to be able to go in and get their hands on their Solis plots.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I still have all the land I bought in the initial sales, so looking forward to being able to claim that. And what I like is that it's not going to be 3 a.m. for some people. You have to be on to try and fastest finger first to click and to actually get in. I like the aspect of where everyone can go in and say where they would like to be, and then whatever mechanism you use to choose, it stops people having to just.
You could basically select multiple favorites. So right now, it's probably a good idea for you to get in and explore around and find the properties you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good stuff. I mean, people are there. There's debates on what's going to be better, to be in the town or to have a great view of the water, or to be close to a mine, or to be close to a fishing spot. What makes the most sense? It's kind of fun. We don't really know the answers to that yet, because the economy is something that comes later and really starts to we'll see with a lot of moving levers what starts to happen within the realm of Cornucopias inside the domes. And but that's that's going to be a bit further out, so maybe 6 months, something like that.
Okay, and the rarity of, so anyone who hasn't seen the land, it comes in different rarities, but you're not picking which plots are legendary or which are the different rarities. That's up to the individuals that claim the land, is it?
Yeah, that's correct. Good. So the rarity is the order of picking. So if you have a mythic, you get to pick first among the mythics, but you can pick any property that's within your size. So if it's a mythic small or whatever, well, then you get to pick from all the smalls, and you're up against all the other mythic holders. So I mean, the odds increase of you getting exactly where you want to be by having a more rare property.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a bad spot within. Some might be more favorable, but they have all been hand placed. So across the 3 sectors, there's 8,000 land plots that have all been hand placed by our developers. They've gone through the land, they've looked at the resources, they've looked at future gameplay, and then as gameplay unfolds, the communities will work together and they'll vote together to add extra amenities to places. So if some places are hard to get, they can vote in the future to maybe have bridges or other accessible tools and options within the game. So yeah, you've got to kind of have a long-term view of the land, because it is, it will be forever evolving.
Yeah, and I suppose you can even have communities that want to all get in the same area for certain, depending on what they're going to do in the future. People who are really thinking long term might try and get a few properties all together to create communities within the game too. So with what else is going up, what else can we expect in the next few builds, or what else is on the short term roadmap?
Well, I don't know if you knew about the leaderboards and I know Rob mentioned it. So we've got a leaderboard system up for racing now that's enabled us to start running tournaments and things of that nature with Kopi prizes. And so that's we're building that up gradually. We want to make sure it works well before we really start going too far with it. But so far that's going incredibly well, and we've got a solid database that's been set up, that's being built to scale, and so that's going to be huge, to have that done right in the future. And the character creator, Rob, I don't know if you mentioned, I think you might have mentioned that, but Paul, I don't know if you've seen that. That's a little bit of old news from last year, but it's still pretty powerful. And yeah, Rob did mention it. There's a ton of sliders on there. We've had character creator contests where you try to make somebody, like we had one where people tried to make someone like the Altcoin Daily guys, the twins, and so we're doing fun stuff like that with it. But and then we also had the ISPO launch in August, and that's still going on. So if you wanted to stake ADA and earn Kopi, it's a good time to do it. That's still happening. But yeah, that's a little bit of what else is going on, or has been going on. So I'm trying to think of there's
just
what's
before we go
coming
to
up
the next
next
part.
is kind of where you're at.
Yeah, just on the racing then, do people have to own the individual NFTs for the racing vehicles, or is it just any NFT to get in and then you can use any of the vehicles for the
Well,
racing?
there's free vehicles so that anybody can get in and play. We always want it to be that way. So that's definitely the case. But yeah, if you wanted to race in certain vehicles like the Javelin or the Bubble Jet, you need to go buy that on secondary. And then we also have a sale coming up soon, obviously, that we talked about. We'll give you more details on that sale here in a bit. But there's 2 new vehicles coming up for sale. And we're working on plans right now, Rob and I and the team, to take care of the early vehicle holders with fuel staking, so you can earn fuel and things like that. And we've got a rough draft plan in place, but that needs to be implemented very soon as well.
Okay, that's good to hear. I think I hold every vehicle so far, at least one of all of them. So I'll have to check out what the new ones are.
Nice.
Gonna be too. Actually, we've mentioned the mint a few times. You said there's vehicles. I know there are jetpacks and different things. Do you want to talk a bit about that, and then we'll go on to what's coming after that for you guys?
I can give the rough overview, and Rob might fill in the details for it. But the macro of this next mint is that we are in process of transitioning from doing these rare mints where they're it's just one asset, and we're moving from that to more of what the mainstream gamers expect, which is that you have a full marketplace with lots of content to participate in the gaming. And so that's a transition that involves a target market shift a little bit, but we're not leaving the original crypto people. As we mentioned, we're trying to take care of them with the fuel staking and different things like that for those legacy assets, but we're transitioning into a Web 2 kind of gaming mindset where we're filling out the marketplace, and there's a variety of options. And so I would say that we've got options on two chains. Number one, so you can buy assets on Cardano or on Base. There's going to be quite a few up for sale all at once. The sale is going to go in 3 phases. So there's going to be some rotation of what is for sale and that sort of thing. And then there's some that are available in Kopi. So if you have some Kopi, there's some of the assets you could buy with that. So what we're doing there is trying to experiment with the shift towards full Kopi utility. So we published a Kopi utility paper a while back. Highly recommend everybody checking that out, because one of the main elements is when mainstream starts getting onboarded, that's creating direct Kopi utility for those mainstream gamers where they can utilize those assets in the store. And that's a big deal. But this will be our first kind of taste of accepting Kopi for assets. And I think it's very exciting. Rob, what did I miss?
Yeah, just actually before we go over to Rob, I'm just going to bring up this here that might help show a bit of detail on when you're talking about the different elements. And you were talking there about two chains. It's going to happen on both. Do you want to talk a bit on this?
Yeah, so we're updating the marketplace to accept different currencies and two different chains. So on Cardano, some of our sales will be in ADA. On base, they will be in USDC, and there will be some items for sale with our native currency, which is Kopi. When you look at the quantity, all the NFTs will be fixed quantity. And if you divide that by two, half the supply will be on base and half the supply will be on Cardano. Some of the items will have fixed rarity. So as you can see there with the top jetpack, that will be legendary. And then we'll have a rare, and then we'll have an uncommon one. So those will be up for sale on both chains, and then we will remove them. Some of the items will sell out quickly. Some will be gradual. Some may never sell out, but I mean, that's completely fine. Prices, we're trying to be inclusive and to kind of cover various budgets to make it accessible to that wider audience. So prices will start from $5. There's an offer in there at $350 for an upcoming extra large cargo ship, and we're also going to have a free mint. Part of the marketing strategy as well. So that will be the bottom one. So you will see the Quantum Jack helmet. That's a really cool, shall we say, a seasonal mint. So that's a lot of fun. Remember, none of this is required for the game, but this does help us to fund the game and build the game. So we will have, like Josh says, we'll have jetpacks, we'll have backpacks, we'll have vehicles, cargo ships, outfits. So very, very traditional looking. When you go into any kind of a store, whether it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, or any mainstream game, you will see a really vibrant economy that is backed by their store. So we're going to try and mirror that. So when Web2 players come over to us, they see something that's familiar. Because I think that's really an important part of onboarding, is there is this kind of negative approach at the moment to Web3. And I think a lot of it is because they don't quite understand what's going on. So where we can break down those barriers and make things as simple as possible, in the future, we will automatically create their wallet for them, so they don't need to know anything about blockchain. So we're working really hard behind the scenes, but obviously it's a gradual thing that we're building up, and this is a really, really important step towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the onboarding experience is so important. Like for new people coming in, a lot of your long-term target market don't care about crypto right now. So you need to be able to target them, bring them in, and eventually they probably will care about it when they see what they can do with the likes of these NFTs that they can buy now. They can buy them, but they don't have to know they're NFTs. They're just buying in-game assets. Later on, they can learn what they are, and they can learn how to trade them on external markets, and learn that there's actually value, that they can actually play the game, earn these, and sell them on, and actually earn something from it at a later date. So it's good to see that how that's going to go. And just with the NFT sales then, or with this mint, is it set that it is half and half on each chain? Or if one chain sells out, will you bring some of the other ones over there if the other chain isn't selling as fast? Or how will that work?
No, we'll just leave it on it's going to be, so the way that we mint, we have to mint a certain amount for each chain. So that will just stay as the amount. So if it sells out on one, people will need to learn how to use another chain, which I really like, because that's helping crypto, kind of overall the industry. We need to have that cross-chain interoperability as best we can. Obviously, in the future, that really needs to become very seamless for the masses. But for us early pioneers in crypto, it's good to have experience on multiple chains. So that's a good thing.
And I think the other thing that's important to us is that these NFTs are usable almost immediately. If not in the current build, they will be in the following build. So that's an important update that we've made as well.
Yeah, that's going to be I'm really glad you brought that up, because we're now at the place where the utility is there
Mhm.
almost right away. And the only reason there's even a slight delay on this one is just because we've got to finalize the next build and release that all together. So yeah, it's almost immediate though.
Okay, and I like the way with the jetpacks, it'll make it a bit easier to get around. But as the worlds are getting bigger, I think you shared a screenshot earlier on of how big it will be eventually. Will there be other ways to get around except flying? Is there any, I don't know, scooters or something like that? Because I know even when I'm going from the starting point to get to racing and things like that, it's starting to take a while because it's just so vast, the area.
Yeah, I mean, currently you're using the public transport. That's all we have at available. Like I say, this is the very first version of the world travel system. But in the not too distant future, you will be able to use your NFTs. So if you've got bubble jet and javelins, not only will you be able to use them for racing, you'll be able to use them to travel from Kalido to Solace and then to Esperanza and Fortune. So that will not only be quicker because that's your own personal transport. You'll be able to rent those vehicles out in the future, but it'll also be part of the gameplay. It should be a lot of fun to actually go fly around and explore all these different zones. But then when you're in the sectors themselves, we have a monorail, so you can get from town to town underground. Overground, you can obviously run around. You'll be able to use jetpacks, but we'll also be introducing mounts in the future. And then other methods to get around as well. So maybe some kind of overground systems, but those will all be rolled out in the future as as the game keeps expanding. So yeah, there'll be tons of ways to get around, and exploring I think is a really important part of gameplay. So fast travel is we're not really too keen on fast travel as such. We want you to really get out there and explore.
Okay, and I will put links to this down below for anyone who wants to get involved. It'll be roughly a week from the time we're recording this. But is this all happening through your own marketplace, through the one that you've built?
Yes. Yeah, and actually that's another update. We've got a fresh new kind of like facelift where the main marketplace starts on the main website, and then once you select, kind of what you want to look at, it'll redirect you to our subdomain where you can, exchange your Copy or your ADA or your USDC, whatever it is, for the asset that is for sale. So it's getting we're making a gradual shift away from the subdomain, but currently that's the process, and it's really good looking new site too. So we're excited to be releasing that. There's so many things that happen, Paul. It's hard to keep you up to date and know exactly what's been announced since the last time, because there's just been a ton. I know that we've got some more to talk about in terms of what's coming up next, but yeah, it's a lot.
I suppose just while we're on the site and the marketplace, the previous mint that we had was the nodes. They are now out there. What's the latest on them in terms of people like myself who hold a node, running the node, or what's the latest on that side?
Well, hopefully, if you're holding your node, you've registered on the website so that you're seeing that your rewards are building up. So
Yep.
that's currently, you should be able to log into the website, go to the nodes tab, and take a look about how many rewards you've been earning. And we're still in that early phase where you just have to hold the NFT. But the place we're moving to with nodes is where you're going to have to operate the node to assist with the game downloads for new users and improving the experience for new users in the game. And we're very close to moving into that phase of development. Rob, I don't know if there's anything I missed there, but the rewards are going to be claimable very soon too, as well.
Yeah, you'll be able to claim your reward. You've got a choice of either claiming them on base or Cardano. But the nodes themselves, these are really important. For those that don't know what nodes are, we sold half of our nodes. We gave them a 6-month deadline. So they're no longer for sale. You can get them on secondary, but we will reopen those in the future. But they play such an important part for our community and for ourselves, Because the cost at the moment from AWS, every time somebody downloads that game, is round about $2.70 per player. So that's direct cost to us. Now the game's approaching 40 gigabytes. So that cost will only increase. And as we get more and more players in the game, that'll be more and more cost to us.
Mhm.
However, what the node network does is we download the game to the nodes, and then in a future update, the nodes will propagate them to other nodes, file nodes, so community hosted nodes. And at that point, there's no cost to us. So as players are downloading the game, they're actually downloading different chunks from all these different nodes. Like I say, so it will reduce our AWS bill by 95%, which is absolutely huge. You know, your operating costs are kind of hidden costs that nobody knows about. And that is actually at the moment in test in QA. So we are downloading all our QA builds using the updated launcher that now has these nodes integrated. And then over the next few months, definitely this month, we're now going to be reaching out to some community members, and they're going to join our network, and we're going to open that up. And then by Christmas, I'm potentially by the next game release, which will come by the end of October, everybody may be downloading the game using the node system, which will I think will be incredible. But that's definitely our goal by the end of the year, and that is, you know, like I say, that in terms of us innovating kind of gaming in the Web3 space, we also have to innovate in some of this technology. So downloading games is not just a Web3 problem. It's also a game industry problem. So I think it's really, really important technology that, you know, that we're building, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to maybe share that with others.
Okay, yeah, it's good to hear this, especially when you hear the cost that's involved with every download. So even if you put out a build and then you have to put out a hot fix a few days later, the cost of users, even with the small, I suppose, the ever expanding number of users that are taking it down, that cost starts to escalate fairly quickly. And I was just thinking, when you're talking there with the likes of Iagon that has decentralized storage, potentially in the future we could see something there where, I know they have the Cyclone and the Cyclone QS coming out, which is it's just an all-in-one storage that anybody can buy, and it runs straight out of the box. You will be able to run a Cardano node out of that. Potentially, we could see something in the future where you could run a Copy node straight out of that. It's just a GUI to just enable whatever nodes you want to run on a box like that. That could be a nice partnership to have at some point. But what else is going on?
We're
then?
aware of
What
them.
else? Sorry?
We're aware of them.
Yeah, we've talked to them in the
Did I
past.
just hit on
Yeah,
something there?
yeah. Well, I don't know that there's anything there or not. We have to fully understand our roadmap for the nodes before we start working on partnerships. But we definitely like the idea of partnerships with entities and with people that we like to work with. So the potential is definitely there. But that's not an announcement of any kind. We don't know yet.
Okay, next time I'm due to have Navjeet on fairly soon again, so I'll have to ask him on the other side.
Sure.
But yeah, I think things like that are great to see when there's actually a benefit to the partnership. You see too many partnerships where it's like, we're partnered with company X, but like, what is the partnership? It means nothing. It's more a marketing partnership than anything. But when there's actually utility, that there's a reason for it, they're the types of ones we want to see rolling out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to probably do a lot of marketing partnerships coming up. And the point of that is getting new daily active users in the game, right? Creating a lot more awareness of who we are and what we're doing. So we're looking at large communities and how do we partner with them in a way that offers value to their community. But you're 100% correct. For the partnerships that create more utility, those are very meaningful, but that also means you've got to work together well with that team and execute. And there's a lot more complexity and dev time involved. And so you have to be sure that you can come through with your side of that partnership, as well as being trusting that they're going to come through on their side. So it does involve a little bit more due diligence up front and planning for that type of partnership. But yeah.
Yes, was you're putting your name out there and they're putting their name out there too as being linked. So there's always everything needs to line up.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at time here, and I want to get any possible leaks or anything out of you guys. So what else is coming up? There's a new racing track coming, is there? Or what else are we looking at?
Yeah, the purple track is coming out, and it is awesome. So we'll now have 3 different tracks, which is really cool. So we've got a yellow, a red, and a purple. And there's performance updates with that. So we've already been optimizing for performance all along the way, but we've got DLSS coming. So for anyone with an NVIDIA card, your performance ought to massively improve. And then, yeah, I'm trying to think what else, Rob? New menus within the game.
Yep. All the NFTs will be playable. We have the two vehicles, the F9R and the Bubblejet Phantom. So those are a new S class. We're introducing a new class of vehicle racing. And if we have a seasonal update as well. So Kalido will have a few updates. We can't really talk about that. It's going to be a surprise that comes out in the next build. We're going to do some balancing of some of the resources at the moment. So it's quite an important one. So as people are choosing their land, they will see where mining spots and fishing spots and logging is. So we released that the early build because we wanted to release it really early because we were going to the Cardano event in Vegas. So the balance inside of it hadn't been done. So we're now working on that. So those land places of interest, those will be updated slightly. The map system is being updated as well. So there's going to be more points of interest in there. There's going to be more interaction in there. The inventory system has had an overall overhaul. So that's
the Nexus.
Yes, the Nexus system. So you will be able to send items from various places within game. So this is the very first iteration of that huge inventory, which obviously plays a really important part of gameplay. So those foundations are being laid. So this is we've rebalanced an area within the yellow track. There's an awful lot of stuff that has gone into this build. And I think all these builds now are really, really important in terms of gameplay. And the next one after that has got some huge updates as well, and the one after that. So we're really, really delivering lots of stuff now that we've taken our time because we've had to lay down the original foundations for the game. But now that we've done a lot of the initial start of the core functionality, it gives us a chance to get more of the fun gameplay in there. But we still have tons more infrastructure and other stuff that we're building.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a fair bit coming. And just on the racetrack, to go back, where does the purple sit in terms of difficulty? Is it harder than the red or yellow, or where does it fit?
Is it in between? But I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I think it is. It looks a lot closer to the yellow one. So, but there is an element where you actually start flying in the clouds, which is really, really fun. And then at night, the lighting is all purple with the neons, and it's slightly longer and slightly faster as well. So you're going to have a good easy, medium, and hard track, and then eventually when we have player progression and we'll have our different skill trees, one of those skill trees will be to do with racing. So you'll be able to unlock these various races, and obviously there'll be tournaments and esports. And so this is the start of that part of the game.
Okay, nice. I'm conscious of your time here as well, so I'll give it over to you if there's anything else that we haven't talked about. I think we covered a lot, kind of what you guys have been up to, the upcoming sale, which is next week. I will put the links for that one down below for anyone who wants to check it out. And then talking about what's coming seasonal, I'm looking at the calendar here. We have Halloween, we have Christmas coming up, so I'll keep my eyes peeled for that. But anything else you guys want to leave us with?
Primarily the sale. Come get involved in what we're doing, join the community, participate in the sale. It's going to be a lot of fun. Get inside the game and start playing and run around, roam around, do the racing, figure out what there is to do. Jetpacks will, like we said, be available very soon, which will help you explore more quickly to find your land for the land claim. I mean, those are the main things. It's a great time to get involved and get in and play the game, because we've really optimized a lot, and there's a lot of new content, and that's also, like mentioned before, the pace of new content with each new build is increasing, and so there's a lot of value that we add with each new build, which is so much fun.
Yeah, I'd
Right.
say, I mean, the community are definitely looking forward to. I think the jetpacks is what we've had the biggest feedback on, and some of the backpacks as well. So there's 2 in there from a new in-game manufacturer called Corn Cutie, and those seem to get a lot of chatter within our Discord.
Now that's these.
There
is
we
it?
go. The grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, gonna be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Those
Kind
are
of a different design language there. That the idea is that we are creating diversity within the game and things that appeal to a variety of different gamer types and people. And so you might look at it and go, nope, that's not for me. I want the rugged military backpack or whatever it may be. But it's fun. It adds a fun element to it, and that's what this is all about. So.
Yeah, and we're seeing lots of new manufacturers coming in here too, with some new names, some that we've seen before, and some new ones coming in. So I'll keep my eyes out for that, and maybe I'll do some tutorials around how to get involved. If people are interested, let me know below. If you're interested in that for next week, do both the base and Cardano side. Guys, as always, thanks for joining. It was great to get some updates straight from you on what's been happening, and let's catch up. Definitely before the end of the year, we should catch up for another one of these to see where things are at and what 2025 is looking like for you guys. I'll leave links to your channel down below, as well as all the socials. Make sure, if you want to keep up weekly, check out Kopi Cafe. Still going strong for, I don't know how many weeks now at this point, but it's great to see that it's still going so strong.
Thanks
for watching, guys. Subscribe if you're new, give the video a like, ask questions below, or make sure you join the Discord. It's a great place to ask questions from the community, and I'll talk to you soon. Rob, Josh, thanks again.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye-bye.